Howdy mates, good afternoon. How are we doing today? So this is the fourth video for today. I'm out at the Prairie Oaks Metro Park, which is just a bit north to the Big Darby Creek Metro Park. So we're technically in Madison County right now, so we're a little further to the west, only slightly. So Prairie Oaks Metro Park is another famous site that you can visit, and what we have ahead of us is a great example of a quarry. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with the concept of a quarry. So at one point, where we're at, prior to this being a metro park, this used to be a mining site. And what was being extracted when it was a mining site was the Columbus Limestone. I mean, most rocks are named according to a given area that you can find them. So with Columbus Limestone, it was quite unique. It's a very bulky rock. It's very heavy, dense, and it is excellent building material. And what's neat about Columbus Limestone too is, in a way, it does look a bit similar to marble. And the irony is, marble is literally a metamorphic rock which was formed from limestone. But with that being said, Columbus Limestone, for instance, actually forms the architecture that is found at the Ohio State House in Columbus. So ironic, in Columbus. But at a certain point, usually what happens when you get deep enough into a quarry, you'll eventually stumble upon the aquifer. And what happens then, as soon as you basically hit a link in the chain, the water will fill this entire reservoir or quarry. So essentially, the water that we are looking at is complete groundwater. It's fresh. You could almost drink it if you wanted. However, though, I still wouldn't really recommend it. And this quarry is actually quite deep. It's probably at least 100 feet deep. So, yeah, I mean, it's just deep. But not only that, but my other focus of why I wanted to make this video too is the fact that we have some hydrologic action that happens here. So, to my left, I don't know if you guys are really able to see it that well, just because we've got so much tree cover, or honeysuckle. You see this stream right here? That's the same river that we saw just a bit ago, which is the Big Darby Creek. So what we're essentially standing on is an old levee that lies between the quarry itself and the river. The levee was mostly built with purpose of preventing any overflow of the river. However, once this area was no longer once this became a metro park, back in 2007, hydrologists actually wanted to flatten the levee. Or, as Led Zeppelin say, when the levee breaks, you have no place to stay. But in this case, there is a place to stay. So, think of it this way. Let's just say there's kind of like a barter system between both the Big Darby Creek and the quarry. So, alright, the quarry is one day just thinking, man, I could really use some sediment coins. And rest assured, I'm just making up sediment coins. Kind of making it sound like it's like a bit of a currency. But yeah, the quarry wants some sediment coins to help provide for any aquatic wildlife that is in the quarry. So then, the quarry wants to ask the Big Darby Creek, like, oh hey, can you provide me some of these sediment coins? So then the Big Darby Creek is like, sure, I can. But what the Big Darby Creek wants in exchange is, I'm just going to call her Darby. What Darby wants in exchange is clean water. So the Quarry will say, okay, we've got a deal. So essentially when the Big Darby Creek overflows, I mean, it's actually close right now, but what happens is the sediments in the mud coming from the stream will make its way into the quarry and settle along the bottom. So essentially you're helping to get rid of any excess nutrients which can interrupt water flow and aquatic wildlife. So in a way, the quarry kind of acts like a sediment dump. But also when that happens, the exchange, some of the fresh water coming from the quarry will then go into the Big Darby Creek, and thus providing rich waters with nutrients in which aquatic species of mussels, freshwater fishes can get a source of food and fresh water that has plenty of oxygen within it. So yeah, that is really the barter system that happens here. And honestly, I think, for any metro park that has something similar to this, they should have a very similar system. I mean, that's just my opinion. Because you have to think, this same area was once a floodplain. But due to, extraction that was happening here, this levee was built. But the levee breaks. So that's why it was flattened. So that it was kind of a way to try to restore what was once happening here. I mean, honestly, it's quite of a genius idea. I mean, it would actually be quite neat to really see the exchange between the both of them. But yeah, it's like a partnership. They work together. One provides for the other. It's kind of like a symbiotic relationship, but yet those type of relationships usually involve living organisms. So it's just it's an interesting analogy. Let's just say that. So, alrighty. Thought I would share that with you guys. Hope you learned something. I mean, it's quite intuitive, personally. It's a green solution, so there's no interference whatsoever. And it's a way to help restore how it used to be. But so, hope you guys enjoyed this video too. I had some fun making this one. So, all right, mates. Enjoy your Saturday, and Journey on a Journey is outwards. Take care, folks.